I feel like accessories are, how do you phrase this? A very non-popular discussion. This statement alone is pretty confusing because don't we already talk about accessories and builds and whether or not insert accessory should be buffed, nerfed, or unchanged? This kind of makes my statement a little redundant, but what I actually mean is that we, as a community, don't really dive into an accessory that much. For a normal player, you just look at its stats, plug it in a build, and you don't really need to dive any further for no reason whatsoever. But then there's me, the dude who somehow writes essays on the most irrelevant and useless topics in the game. But anyways, this brings me to probably the game's most infamous meme accessory, the thief earrings. The thief earrings are an accessory, alright. They are a pretty uncommon chop from treasure chests when you fish it up from anywhere on the map. Once equipped, the thief earrings will increase the wooden dagger's base damage by 10. Yes, you heard that right. An accessory that buffs a weapon that is arguably worse than the bronze greatsword. Why? I don't fucking know, but hey, it's a pretty funny joke item, and at least it's somewhat usable. But now, let's talk about the wooden dagger itself, because this accessory buffs it. So the wooden dagger on its own is interesting to say the least. The wooden dagger has a base 6 damage, 10% less end lag, 30% additional swing speed, a base range of 6, 60% less knockback, and a very strong 25% crit chance. In the dagger subclass, the wooden dagger's side stats can pretty much outdo all the other daggers in terms of performance besides the piercing and element types that most other daggers have. This dagger has higher swing speed and crit chance than the others, which are really strong stats, but mostly doesn't matter since every other dagger's base damage, besides iron, does like 4 times more damage than the wooden dagger. This is where the thief earrings comes in. With the sacrifice of an accessory slot, you can make this weapon's base damage go from 6 to 16, which is still not very good compared to other daggers because 6 damage or more is still a lot of missing potential, but what can you do? This is if not the worst early game weapon in the game thus far. But funnily, I genuinely feel like this weapon would be viable, maybe in the end game, if it didn't take up a whole fucking accessory slot. Because mostly all melee builds nowadays don't use regular percentage or base damage increasers like Diamond Ring or Unharmed Energy. Like, honestly, if a build already uses Diamond Ring, then the Thief Earrings is pretty much a good replacement to make the Wooden Dagger viable in said build. But I think it's better to make a new build while considering the Wooden Dagger strengths, which are crit and swing speed. So this build I made had that in mind, and this is the best I could come up with. I think I made like 4 other builds before this, but those builds are pretty much dookie compared to this masterpiece. Nah, just kidding, this build's not that good, but it's the best I could do. But anyways, to basically sum up this accessory, it's pretty much a joke accessory. And to the experienced player, it's not really worth the hassle going for unless you just want to have some fun on the new save or make some pretty wacky off-meta build with an early game weapon. I won't say some shit like, this accessory is useless, because it really isn't. The Thief Earrings turns the wooden dagger from borderline useless to a decently viable dagger up until King Sandpod, and can be acquired pre-Thief King, so that's actually really nice. And if you can't beat Kai Guy early game, then the Thief Earrings with wooden dagger could be a decent replacement for most of the early game and a bit of early mid game. That basically sums up my thoughts on this accessory, and with that, we'll end the video here. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed these mini analysis videos with unpopular accessories, then express your enjoyment in the comments and comment which accessory I should analyze next. And with that, this is the end of the video, and we'll see you fellers next time. Goodbye!